Live from JMT Studios, Gary Seisel and Adam Buckingham are the Two Jersey Kids.
Hello all, welcome back to Two Jersey Kids, the podcast that gives you the very best opinions on video games news that is happening this week. This is episode 3. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Buckingham, alongside my great friend, Gary Seisel of 10 years. How are you doing, Gary? How was your weekend? How was everything?
I am doing very well right now. I'm actually not drinking this week. I don't have a craft beer by my side, so sorry to all my craft beer fans out there. But I am having
three episodes. It only took 3 episodes for you to finally run out.
I'm finally sober, yes. So yeah, this week's been going pretty well. It's my first week of classes, my last first week of classes, graduating.
Congrats to that.
But yeah, Labor Day weekend was cool. Had a couple barbecues. Obviously drank a lot, so that's also kind of the reason I'm not drinking as much.
Is that why you're not drinking too much? You drank too much, drank your fill, had a little bit too much of a hangover. I had that issue this week too, so we're all in the same boat. It happens.
It was. I overindulged in some ways, but nothing too crazy. But anyway, how about yourself? My friend.
Thank you for finally throwing to me without me coercing you. This is history, ladies and gentlemen. Finally happened. We're a cohesive unit now, finally. Well, thanks for asking, Gary. My weekend was actually pretty darn good. I went kayaking on Friday on my day off. It was fantastic. Drank a little wine that day. Maybe a little too much, but it was good. Saturday, just relaxed with the GF, the girlfriend, until we had a show in Northern Virginia. We went to Cirque du Soleil. It was pretty sick. Have you ever actually seen that? Because I know you've gone to Disney plenty of times. Did you ever go to see the show in downtown Disney?
I've never seen, but my sister has. She said it's insane, the acrobatics and all that stuff. So
it's freaking
something I kind of do want to take a look at eventually.
I know they always have showings down at downtown Disney, but this was in Northern Virginia. It was a cool theme. It was very steampunky. It was actually crazy because I thought it was going to be, because I went to the one in downtown Disney and the stadium's a lot larger, so I was expecting the same thing, but arriving is just a normal tent, so it's like a circus tent. So we actually got pretty decent prices for a ticket, and we were right up next to pretty close to the stage, easy to see. It was insanity. You had people flipping high trampolines, grabbing onto ladders. It was madness. Oh, I forgot to mention, I made sure to put in my notes that the week prior, I meant to mention because I love the show. I saw Stranger Things on Netflix, which I adored. I was obviously I'm not an '80s kid because I'm pretty young, but I loved the whole '80s vibe it gave and how it referenced all old movies and basically just paid homage to all those shows. It had a little Alien, a little Goonies. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was a little creepy too. Surprisingly creepy when I first watched it. The opening, opening scene, creeped me out. I was like, "Oh my god! I didn't expect this to scare me this much."
Yeah, honestly, if you haven't seen it, check it out immediately. I thought the same thing. I've kind of been needing a suspenseful type of thriller show in my life, and Stranger Things definitely filled that void. I was very surprised.
Hole nicely.
Damn straight. Honestly, I was really surprised. I knew it was going to be kind of a creepy show, but it was definitely creepier than I thought it was going to be. Especially in the first couple episodes, it was kind of scary.
Also, the main actress in that, the girl, she's only I think 12 in real life. Millie Brown, I believe her name. I thought she was awesome in that.
Oh yeah, great.
She was fantastic.
It was funny. One of my friends was telling me how Winona Ryder is obviously in that show, and he couldn't believe how old she had gotten over the years. He said it made him feel old.
I can't remember. She as an actress, I know she looks familiar, but I can't place movies she's been in.
She was in Beetlejuice, if I am correct. I haven't
never actually seen that show. Crazy enough.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, but yeah, if I remember correctly, she was in that, and she's very young. in that movie, so it's kind of
I
crazy.
know she's been in other movies, but I can't place it. Well, maybe you all can tweet the podcast at 2JerseyKids on Twitter and let me and Gary know what else she's been in. So remember to follow us on Twitter at that Twitter handle I just mentioned, at 2JerseyKids. No spaces, spelled how it sounds. Kids is plural. You can also follow or like our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, Gary. I set it up myself. It was fantastic. And yeah, you can go like that page, and that's what we posting when things pop off for the show. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, yeah. Give us a rating on iTunes. Your feedback really helps us. And I think we're going to move on to some gaming news, unless you have anything else, G Money?
Nah, man.
G Sizzle?
Let's get into the whole monstrosity that was the PlayStation meeting.
Oh, I like your transition, G. I like that. That was smooth. It's like you have the notes in front of you. Well, if you guys didn't know, if you guys weren't in the loop, PlayStation had their PlayStation Meeting conference, then speculated that it was going to announce the PS4 Pro and also the PS4 Slim. I was pretty hyped going into it. I thought they would announce multiple things along with it. It wouldn't be such a train wreck that it turned out to be, and such a boring, it's just a boring conference all around. Boring 45 minutes. I thought I was going to fall asleep. Mass Effect woke me back up, and then I fell back to sleep.
Yeah, so, we go into this whole thing and you expect PS4 to release, or Sony to release a PS4 that's, actually different in a lot of ways than the original PS4, but I feel like the PS4 Pro is just honestly the same thing. I was reading online, I'm reading on Twitter, people are just going crazy about it, saying how, if you need to describe something in this much detail, like you have to describe the differences of each console in this detail, you probably shouldn't be making the console to begin with.
You took the words right out of my mouth, G. You can tell there was no excitement in the room because they just kept explaining it in granular detail. They kept explaining that this was specifically for 4K, which I'm pretty certain not many people have 4K TVs yet. It hasn't percolated enough into the home space for this to be relevant. I just don't understand what is the purpose. I feel like you're just taking the wind out of the sails that PS4 had. That PS4 console was moving smoothly. It was ahead. Both consoles, Xbox One and PS4, are selling better than the previous, are on pace, or pacing better than the previous console generation. But yeah. PS4 was sailing, and I feel like this console just took the wind out of its sails just because it tried to explain in such detail. This reminds me, honestly, of like old Sony when they were trying to explain the PS3 and why it needed to cost $600 and some $600 or $600 when it first came out, and it just seemed like, I don't know, it reminded me of old Sony where they got a little too cocky, say, "Oh, you're probably gonna buy this." They never explained. They could have released like a statement saying like, "Oh, it's like such and such console upgraded for 4K capability. It's this amount." You don't need to have a 45-minute console or conference explaining and just showing pictures that most people, when they're watching online, can't tell because they're just watching on a normal TV. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like arrogant or cocky, but I just thought that like with the PS4 Pro, with that release, it's almost like they're just trying to throw something out there. Like they're trying to keep up with Microsoft, but they're not really developing a product.
But they don't They don't need to keep up with Microsoft. They're in the lead right now.
Well, see, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's just like, yeah, they may be in the lead console sale wise or whatever, but okay, so Microsoft releases Xbox One S.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, Sony is like, oh, well, we got to put something else out there too. But it turns out that what you're putting out there is like just some sort of like half-baked idea that it really wasn't. It doesn't seem like there was much time put into what is actually inside the console and what it really offers to consumers.
Because the Xbox One S, I remember Xbox put out a tweet, funny enough, right after their console saying the Xbox One S, it has 4K streaming and Blu-ray, check. Has HDR gaming already, check. It has the the generic thing saying greatest game, that's really debatable, and 40% smaller, but it's starting at $299. So it seems like it's essentially doing the same thing, except for maybe PS4 has it runs a little. The PS4 Pro runs a little smoother, which I still don't understand. What's everyone's obsession with having the game consoles stronger, because that doesn't necessarily make or have the games look better, because that doesn't make a game looking better. Having the sun shine brighter and the water reflect better doesn't make a game great. It's like the gameplay and the artistic design that's put into the game. You know? You feel me?
Yeah.
How it feels?
Oh, completely understand. And it's really disappointing coming from Sony. They like you said, they were in the lead, and it just seems like they were kind of just grasping at straws here, not really putting anything new into the gaming world.
I feel like they got really outflanked by Xbox putting out the Xbox One or Xbox Scorpio, and how stronger it is. They did not expect this, so I'm guessing they're gonna have to go, because this is definitely not a step up. This is not the next console generation, obviously, just because it didn't move the needle that much from what we have right now. So I feel like they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what the heck they're gonna do. Figure out what Xbox is going to do and try to counteract that, maybe. I don't know. I just feel like Xbox now is more in the driver's seat than before, where PS4 was just cruising.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, this is probably the last thing I'll say on it, but it's probably just, it's just a useless, like a shameless cash grab by Sony and Microsoft, for that matter. But especially Sony in this case, it's just like, I've said this already, but it's like you're just making something, sort of new, and you're trying to pass it off as like a new console, but it's not doing anything different. It's just, I don't understand it.
So for all those people that didn't actually watch the conference and haven't paid attention to it, there's an article Stephen Tullio over at Kotaku wrote titled "The PS4 Pro Will Help Launch a New, more complicated era of console gaming." But I just want to give a bullet point. The bullet points that he lists of what happened says a PlayStation Pro owner who has a 4K TV that supports high dynamic range HDR visuals will see new Pro supporting PS4 games displayed at 4K resolution and sport a wider range of colors that allows extremes of light and dark to better display at the same time. They made a huge deal about colors during that press conference. A Pro owner who merely has a current standard 1080p TV may also see marginal improvements to games that are programmed to use the more powerful console's power for non-4K HDR effects. According to developers working on games for the Pro, these gamers may see the game they're playing running at a more stable frame rate or with some improved graphical details. Next bullet point, gamers who have a standard PS4 but a TV that supports HDR will be able to see some degree of HDR visuals in games that are patched or developed to support it. The final bullet point, people who are playing new PS4 games on a standard PS4 with a standard 1080p TV will see graphics that are likely worse among these options, though it's not clear how far a drop-off they'll have in graphical quality. This option might not be too bad because, as many PS4 owners can attest, PS4 games have looked pretty damn good as is. And then he finishes it off with saying, confusing enough? Question mark?
It's like, I don't know, I'm not going to try to speak for everybody, but, I enjoy video games the way they are right now. I think the graphics are great on PS4, even on Xbox. I haven't personally played on Xbox, but there's not too much of a difference. But, it's kind of... 4K, I'm sure, is amazing. I'm sure whatever it is amazing. I'm sure it does a great job at what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I still think it's like a gimmick. I still think that it's just one of those things that you say. It's like, this PlayStation 4, you could run 4K on this thing. It's going to do all this.
It's buzzwords essentially. It's just like
exactly.
buzzwords. See, the difference between if you're thinking about it is. It was such a huge step from standard TVs to HD TVs, whereas now I don't think I'll notice the difference too much. It doesn't seem like that much of a drastic thing that needs to happen right this very instant. They could have very well waited another 2 years, released a more powerful console that has 4K capability. I don't understand why now. What's the point? Why couldn't they just had the Slim have 4K, which is essentially what Xbox One did with their slimmer model. It had 4K and Ultra Blu-ray capability. Which, fun fact, apparently the PS4 Pro doesn't have Ultra Blu-ray capability to running Blu-ray disc. It can stream it, but can't actually take in an Ultra Blu-ray, which is kind of interesting that they don't have that, and Xbox One S does. But there was actually some reactions, like you mentioned before, by people in the industry, what they reacted to on Twitter. Nathan Grayson at Kotaku sort of put it together. One at Tirkurmu, I can't say names, man. So aside from being prettier and running better, better, if you own a PS4 and have infinite cash, why would you get a PS4 Pro, Because essentially, it seemed, what is the purpose of getting a PS4 Pro when you don't have a 4K TV? You'll have to shell that amount out. It seems like Sony was just trying to incorporate everything that they have together with their 4K TVs that they sell, and now the PlayStation 4 Pro, which I feel like you just need to leave PlayStation alone because they're the one portion of the company that was making money for you.
Yeah, it's like these companies out there, they make these so-called improvements, and they think that people are just going to run out and buy it because it's Sony releasing something new or it's Microsoft releasing something new. But
yeah, Justin Davis. Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were done.
Go
Skype. Justin Davis. I'm pretty certain he's on IGN. Tweeted, not sure about PS4 Pro. You want a console? You want console power? Get a Scorpio. You want an intro to next gen console? Get a PS4. The PS4 Pro is for ... That again just shows the marketing issue that they had throughout this conference. They tried to explain in granular detail, and that just made it more confusing. All they had to do, I feel like, is just release like a little tiny snippet of what this is, and people would understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, and why do we need an intro to next generation of consoles? Like, why is that necessary? I mean, we've gone this many years now with PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. Why now do we suddenly need, after 2 years of PlayStation 4, do we need an intro to the next generation? Why not just focus your resources on creating the next generation down the line instead of creating a lame-ass excuse for an improvement?
Which, if anyone's seen the pictures of it, I was telling Gary before we started recording that a analogy could be the PS4 is just like a normal hamburger that you can make or you get anywhere, and then the PS4 Pro just looks like a Big Mac where it just has like an extra patty in the middle, and it looks a lot like thicker. And I was interacting with people on Twitter today, mentioning that it just looks bulkier and harder to move. It looks like it has more heft. The reason I like my PS4 is it's like sleek and small, and it's easy to maneuver. Feels like it's going the opposite direction. It's going bigger where Xbox was going smaller.
Yep. Even the design doesn't look that great. Like that it just looks like there wasn't much time spent on really making sure this product was ready and really able to make that next step to being something different or new or better. Yeah,
it seemed a little half-baked. But for people that don't know the essentials, the PS4 Pro is going to be released in November 2016 this year for $399. I say $400 because that's essentially what it is. The reason people say $399 or $299, it makes it look smaller. And then the PS4 Slim is going to be released soon, September 15th, for $299. I suggest, in my opinion, get the Slim. If you don't, I don't see the purpose of getting the Pro for an extra $100. They didn't sell me enough on why I need to get it. What's the purpose? I don't know.
I mean, it's like if you don't have a PS4 now, go for the Slim. Or if you have the extra cash, you can go for the PS4 Pro. But again,
and the extra cash to buy a 4K TV if you don't have one.
Exactly. So PS4 Slim. That has my endorsement.
But it looks a little bit better on HD TV if you have the PS4 Pro.
Oh,
Does that entice you, Gary?
That's make or break for me, man.
Oh, man. You sold him, Sony. You sold him.
I need to see an extra blade of grass when I'm playing. That's what sets me off. That's what just gets me going into a game.
Oh, that reminds me. You didn't actually officially watch the meeting. Did you see Horizon at all, gameplay footage?
No, but I heard it looks absolutely tremendous.
It looks amazing. I mean, it already looked amazing on the PS4, but I'm so pumped for that game. Like, it just looks fascinating that they're in the future, but they're robotic dinosaurs, even though I don't think they call them dinosaurs. But it just looks awesome. Open world, bow action. I don't know. No one knows this about me, but I love video games where you can shoot a bow. I have a fascination with shooting bows. I don't know why. When I have a character like Dragon Age, I like to be an archer. They just look badass. Maybe it's just because I just like the character Green Arrow too, like parkouring and has a bow and just shoots people. I don't know. I just love it. They look badass. They look like Robin Hood style.
The real question here is, were you a fan of the crossbow in Black Ops? Was that like your thing?
No. I don't like crossbows and bows are completely different, Gary. Come on, know your weapons. Crossbows, you have to like load them up. You look like a little pansy loading it up. It looks slow, and then you shoot it. Bows, you can just pull it out Hawkeye style and just start rapid fire, pulling them out of your back. Yeah,
Oblivion style, Elder Scrolls.
Oh my god, the aiming in, let's be real, the aiming in any Bethesda game is a little rough, especially Elder Scrolls. That was rough. That's why I just used sword and shield. Made it easier. Very easy. We're on to and the next thing is PSN was down again. I don't know. Do you know if it was for main? I didn't actually look into it too much. I just know it was down for what Twitter was saying for a good portion for some reason, and it just seems annoying that it's all seems to be down constantly now.
What was so annoying is, first of all, I don't really believe too much of what I read on the internet where people are like, oh, I'm DDoSing PSN, or this is happening. I don't know. You can believe what you want to believe. But the bottom line is that, with all these outages happening, PSN wants to increase the cost of their membership by $10 for what I think is a 12-month membership. They want to increase by $10. $10. And yet this is happening. I feel like it's a pretty bad timing on their part to have all these outages. But then again, I'm no expert.
Yeah, I don't. They had a perfect opportunity when PS4 launched to say, hey, screw the PSN. We're making something from the ground up. Hopefully they do that with PS5. I don't know if they will. Who knows? But they need to build something new from the ground up. PSN just doesn't run well. It just doesn't.
Well, it's like it's frustrating because I've been okay with it up until this point, but yeah, it's definitely getting to the point now where it's like, okay, so if there is a DDoS attack on your servers and it goes down, okay, that happens. That can happen maybe once a year. But when it happens several times, I remember last year, I think it was close to Christmas, I was going to sit down and I was going to play some Destiny with my brother-in-law, and just as that happens, DDoS on PSN. And I was just like, okay, now how many times is this going to happen until either we keep these people from doing this, or we develop things to protect our online service against these guys? I mean, it's very, very frustrating.
And I think that happened to Xbox Live too. So it wasn't specifically PSN, but these outages seem more regularly than what I hear about Xbox Live. And let's be real, the people that do the DDoS attacks, you're complete dicks. F you. Look. Oh no, my computer's crashing as we speak. They got me, Gary. They got me.
Now they're living in their dark basement somewhere, I'm sure. dimly lit basements.
Funny enough, we're speaking about PlayStation Network. There's a report over at Polygon by Allegra Frank. Report: Xbox Live faster, more reliable than PlayStation Network. Mind blown. She writes, where speed is concerned, Xbox Live has PlayStation Network beat. That is according to a study conducted earlier this summer, whose finding comprised a report by analytics firm IHS MarketKit. Microsoft shared the results today, accompanied by a possible new tagline for Xbox Live: fastest, most reliable gaming network. Well, there was quotes in there. IHS MarketKit Sure. Compared Microsoft and Sony's online networks in a series of tests, rating their speed and stability across several metrics. The bar on the graphs below reflects. For reliability, IHS tests the time it takes to log into each network, prioritize initiation speeds, and simplified processes. With its two-step login and frequent network outages, PlayStation Network was bested by Xbox Live in all but one category. PlayStation Network, according to the study, is a bit better at matchmaking. That's fantastic. As for game speed, that survey was, quote, based not only on how quickly consumers could connect to a gaming network, but also how quickly gaming tasks could be completed, end quote. According to the report, these include lag, matchmaking, load times, logging in, and getting friends into a game. The results here were much the same as they were for reliability. As seen below, PlayStation Network slightly excels at finding players faster, but Xbox Live is overall quicker at uploading data and letting players log in. Overall, IHS Markit concludes that Xbox Live beats PlayStation Network in terms of logging in, having players join parties, and the quality of its voice chat, the latter of which was based on an average of subjective data. PlayStation Network tips the scale only when it comes to matchmaking, according to the firm. Sony hasn't commented publicly on the report, which Microsoft noted came from July 2016, yet Microsoft is already incorporating their research findings into its marketing with an ad campaign touting Xbox Live as the top multiplayer experience, which makes sense to make use of that. Microsoft has gotten into the mood of piling on Sony, especially after last night's lackluster PlayStation hardware reveal event. Immediately following the unveiling of PlayStation 4 Pro, a high-end model meant to compete with next year's Xbox One revision Project Scorpio, top brass at Microsoft tweeted about the Xbox superiority. So yeah,
that's it. It's pretty much a shit show.
It's pretty much spot on with how
it's like
PSN is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm not a fanboy by any means. I'm not gonna start some sort of PS4 versus Xbox One war here, but it's frustrating. I hope that going forward they maybe can somehow address these issues. But I'm interested to see how they do it, honestly, and if they can actually figure out a way to kind of reach the same stability that Xbox Live has.
All I know is after this shit show that PlayStation showed with their conference, and now all this coming out, they better have a killer PSX conference. They have to blow off the socks off everybody at that conference. Which normally it was last year was a little surprising that it didn't end with a bang, which everyone thought it would. But I think they're going to right the ship this year, and hopefully they have to bring their A game. Which I feel I had this inkling, this feeling, just like I knew that they were going to announce a handheld console at this last conference. I am so smart. I feel like they're going to announce Red Dead Redemption 2 or the next Red Dead game at this PSX meeting, just because Rockstar still, I don't know if you know this, they still owe Sony a game. They were originally supposed to publish this codenamed The Agent game for PS3, but Rockstar never actually completed it, so they still technically owe Sony one. So hopefully, maybe, which would be huge, PS4 gets a timed exclusive with Red Dead, which would be sick.
Yeah, Red Dead's pretty amazing, but I think with the PS or the next conference that they have, I think they'll have definitely something more to give to their consumers.
They better.
I think they're gonna. Well, they definitely have more motivation now. I think to come out with something that's actually interesting. I think they'll have the big guns though. Definitely some new titles, and hopefully Red Dead Redemption. It's a great game.
Maybe with all the backlash or crap they're getting online, because I remember seeing just PlayStation tweet. Poor decision. PlayStation tweeted out, well, how do you feel about PS4 Pro or something like that? And just scrolling through the comments, it just, 9 times out, it just wasn't good. So hopefully that will light a fire up under their ass, and maybe they'll come out swinging again. But it's just weird that they're doing this when, like, I'm trying to put it into words. They're trying to show one thing, this PS4 Pro, distracting you from, the fact that all their games are getting delayed, pushed back farther and farther, and every time, even first-party studios are getting pushed back farther and farther. I don't really hear that much coming from Xbox side, to be honest. It doesn't seem like Xbox has been delayed. Maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I just don't pay attention too much to the Xbox side. But I know the main games, Gears 4, that's not getting delayed. That main game, they set a delay date, and I think they're going to hit it. It's coming soon, so it just seems frustrating. That's all.
It's so frustrating where we live in.
Yeah. Nothing else, Gary? You got nothing?
No, I'm good on that topic, sir.
No. Okay. Well, moving on. The bright side, we actually saw Mass Effect Andromeda.
Hell yeah.
Gameplay. Are you excited for the next Mass Effect? You played Mass Effect, right?
I am very excited. I was one of the PlayStation 3 owners that got the Mass Effect 2. I guess they had, when they brought Mass Effect over, they came out with Mass Effect 2 and had like a comic strip thing, to explain the first game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, in the end, they ended up releasing the first game on the PS3.
Finally,
so I played through all three of them. Great game. Very excited for Mass Effect Andromeda. However, we haven't really seen much about the game. Kind of curious as to what's going on.
Besides the little bit that little gameplay that they showed during this conference, I feel like it's going to be released next year, fall 2017. Just feels like it. They're showing it now. They're gonna, I would think, release it. What was your favorite Mass Effect out of the trilogy? Which one was it?
Man, I'll tell you. Well, I can actually go through my gripes with some of them, like Mass Effect. All right, well, I guess Mass Effect 2 would be my.
They always have. They all have issues.
Like I liked Mass Effect 3 a lot. I know the ending caught like a ton of flack from people, but I thought they did an okay with releasing it. What was it, a DLC or an update later on that further explained. Mm-hmm. I liked all of them, but Mass Effect 2 would probably be my favorite. Mass Effect 1, the gun combat was at times a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But that story was good, though. I liked all of them. But Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 definitely nailed down the gunplay. I'm a fan of Mass Effect 1 because I felt like that was more RPG elements to it, more upgrading. It felt less of a shooter than Mass Effect 2 did. But, again, I'm a fan of all of them, and I'm excited for this one that's coming out. They showed a little bit of gameplay. It wasn't too much. It was just moving around. It unfortunately, due to the conference being a little boring, it also made this footage seem a little boring. I guess it was just heaped into this cesspool of boringness. That's what happened. But speaking of Mass Effect Andromeda, there's an article written by Megan Farkoshmanish at Polygon. Man, I really need to work on saying names.
I think it's Farouk Manesh, by the way.
Farouk Manesh. Man, you should look up these articles before time, and you just say them for me. Okay? Sounds good? Well, she writes, Mass Effect Andromeda will be a family affair that features not one, but two versions of its new hero, Ryder. In an interview with PlayStation Access, creative director Mac Walters revealed that the male and female versions of the characters not only exist in the game world, but at the same time, they're siblings. Quote, what a lot of people don't know, little surprise here, is that these two are brother and sister, Walter said, and they both exist in the game world at the same time. So if you're playing as the sister Ryder, female Ryder, your brother is somewhere in the universe. End quote. In the original Mass Effect trilogy's player could also choose the gender of Shepard, the game's lead, but he or she existed as a unique individual. Walters told Polygon previously that BioWare wanted to move away from focusing on a single titular hero. Does that excite you at all? Ring your bell?
I was actually reading that article not too long ago, and I think it's interesting to think about where or how this is going to affect the story. Like, so you have Ryder, and then you have, obviously there's brother and sister involved here, so depending on who you choose, it's interesting to think about how that's going to affect the story. Are you going to meet up with that character? Or, something like that.
Yeah.
Sort of interesting.
And apparently, your father's also was shown in the trailer. So it's a family affair, Mass Effect Andromeda. It's a little exciting that you'll have a. I wonder if you are obviously if you were a female or male, you had somewhat different experiences in the Mass Effect games, you interacted with characters differently. However, I wonder if it's more drastic if you choose the male or female, because maybe it's just two drastic different stories that are somehow coalescing together. Because maybe you'll meet, if you're the female, maybe you'll meet your brother in the end, or vice versa.
Yeah,
I think you all meet up.
It'll be interesting to see if they can nail down maybe a family story. Maybe it'll be an overall family story to the game instead of just maybe an individual, you're focusing on your main character only, or you're focusing on your main character and your brother. It'd be interesting to see how that works out.
I'm interested to see how they plan on explaining how certain alien races made it to this Andromeda's galaxy when the mass relays are broken. Were they just originally there when they finally burst, and now they're just stuck there with certain alien races? So technically all the alien races they've seen in Mass Effect are there. Just now they're just all contained in that one area because they can't go anywhere else. I wonder how that's going to play out. How the interactions between alien species that are now, they can't get away from each other. They're stuck, and how they populate and how they interact with different planets. I feel like that'll be very fascinating.
You know what's funny? I remember, this is sort of off topic, but I remember with Mass Effect before, when the first one came out, it came out with such fanfare. I remember reading articles about it. I was really excited about it. But I feel now it's almost just undercover. You don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. You're hearing tidbits of what the game's about over time, but you've heard nothing about it. I'm really interested to see when they're really going to start releasing articles about the game or releasing real details.
Maybe they finally learn what the best way to release a game is not show these little tidbits over a long period of time, so you realize, oh crap, this game has been gestating for a long time and haven't been released. Maybe they finally realize, hey, maybe we should announce it 6 months ahead of time, 6 to 9 months, so then we have we release this this content showing what this game is, because you don't need that long of a period to explain what something is, and you get people excited. You don't need a long 2-year period to have people hyped up for a game.
Not only that, but I was going to say, lastly, that not only that, but I feel today there's so many games out there. Actually, every gaming company today does this, where they show all these trailers, they show all these demos, they show all these playthroughs, and they basically show you the game before you even play it. There's no element of surprise. I go into games now, and it's oh, well, I saw this a couple weeks ago, or I saw this a month ago. There's no element of real wow, look at this. They never showed this, or it's just very. I wish games today would have a little more mystery to them instead of just kind of throwing everything at you at once through trailers and advertisements.
I feel you're more. In open world games, you're more likely to get shocked and surprised by the things that happen, just because on a vastness scale you can't show everything. They may be able to show the gameplay aspect, but I don't know if they have really seen a story or show a story. Because I remember them showing off The Witcher 3, that gigantic, massive game that it is. They just showed the gameplay aspect of Witcher 3, which was pretty solid. Yeah,
that's true. I guess a game like Call of Duty or something, you already know what you're expecting. There's no real
big explosions and bang bang shoot
and cliche storylines. Yay!
Apparently, there's going to be a beta coming out for Infinite Warfare. Are you going to hop in that? I feel we owe it to our amazing listeners out there that are going to follow us at 2JerseyKids on Twitter. We owe it to them to actually participate in this beta and then do a comparison of Battlefield and Call of Duty's beta and see what we see.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. That is going to be a tough venture. But you know what? Maybe I will. For the sake of our dedicated followers, I will jump into Infinite Warfare Beta.
That's a good host right there.
You know it, man. I'm about the team here.
He's all about you beautiful kids out there. Beautiful fans, all of you. Rate us on iTunes, please.
Damn straight.
Well, going on to the next article... Did you know Apple had a conference where they showed their iPhone 7? We're not getting into that because that's not video games. But there was an interesting thing is that Super Mario Run comes to the iOS. Did you see that, Gary? Did you see?
Yes, I did. And actually, it's kind of weird, but the way I think about things. But one of the most interesting things I think that I saw or read about that is that you can play that game using one hand because you're always running like right side.
Yeah.
I can just see myself in class right now playing the game. Like no one knows what I'm doing. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm texting somebody.
It is a little upsetting that it's supposed to be an endless runner. But let me get into the article that's written by Marty Sleva over at IGN. Super Mario Run is coming to Apple devices this December. During the Apple event today, Shigeru Miyamoto came on stage to reveal the game, which is an automatic runner similar to Ubisoft's mobile Rayman games. I've actually never played that. I should, because I like Rayman. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I would suggest getting it on PS4 or on Xbox One. Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. It's really good. Plug! Sponsor us, Ubisoft. We like money.
God.
And Super...
Let's churn out episodes every day, too, while we're at it. Really exhaust.
Yeah, and then every day. 10 out of 10 to all Assassin's Creed. 10 out of 10. But their Far Cry games are on point, let's be real. Alright, continue. In Super Mario Run, your character is constantly moving to the right. Tapping the screen causes Mario to jump, which means the game can be played using only one hand, like you were saying. According to a list on the App Store, the game features 3 modes. Quote, the first mode features challenging courses for you to complete. In the second mode, you challenge the play data of other players completing the course. You can complete to see who can finish the course with the most style. In the third mode, you can create your own Mushroom Kingdom using coins collected by playing the first 2 game modes. End quote. Fun fact, the game will not be free to play, and Nintendo will be announcing a price later on in the year before the game release in December 2016. In a press release, Nintendo stated that iOS users will be able to download and enjoy a portion of Super Mario Run for free. It's worth noting that at the event, they said that the game will be coming to iOS first, which most likely means it will be making its way to Android devices down the road. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's going to be interesting to see how long that pay-to-play thing goes on. I mean, it's a mobile game. It's for iOS.
But it's not free to play.
That's what I'm saying is, it's like, how long is that, pay-to-play go on for? Is the game going to be good enough to warrant, to warrant payments, like a subscription? I don't know.
That's
not my cup of tea.
The mobile market right now for games, there's just so many games out there that it's so hard to find the quality ones, and they're all free to play, and I feel like people nowadays just expect to get a free game. Me personally, if I want a game that I can actually pay for ahead of time, so I know that I'll get the full experience and I don't have to go in expecting, oh, you ran out of lives, wait 1 hour to get 1, or pay $1 and you'll get 5 or something like that. I just never been a fan of that. I know everyone out there loves their free stuff, but for me with video games, I like to pay ahead of time. I like to give, if it's a good game, I like to give the developers money, show support, because, that's how they stay in business and all that junk.
Yeah, it's definitely a kind of a watered down industry. There's a lot of people out there or a lot of companies anyway, that just like throw these half completed games out there, and it's like, oh yeah, play this game and sort of enjoy it, but give us your money at the same time, and it's, I don't know.
You know what was a crime that happened? Well, not much of a crime. It was more of like just like smooth somehow. I don't know the best way to explain it. The developers that made Candy Crush were able to sell their company for what? I think it was like $2 billion after the success of Candy Crush, which is insane. That game, like it's like a match 3 game. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, there's some games out there, like simple ideas can just
rake in the dough. I don't know what about Candy Crush that makes it, like, I played it and I enjoyed it. I never had the urge to give it money. Like, it's a simple, I like puzzle games. It's simple. I guess maybe it was the aesthetic that it was all candy. I don't know. It was like Candyland. Yeah. Maybe it felt like you were making progress when you defeated something. Kind of like Dark Souls, where some of the puzzles were so difficult. Once you beat it, you're so happy. Yeah, it's not like Dark Souls at all. Let's be real. On to the next topic. Well, it's not really an article that's coming out, news that's going on. It was an opinion piece written by Drew Majory. I can't say last names, man.
Majory? Either
Yeah,
way.
sure.
Continue.
He just answered a question about what is the best sports game, which I thought was interesting. Do you want to hear his rundown of his ranking? I know it's all opinion based. I'm sure we'll get upset by the rankings. I know I will.
I read through that and I was completely at odds. But yeah, go right ahead.
For all you out there, it's his number 1, racing/karting. Number 2, boxing/fighting. 3, which was crazy to me, but I guess to each his own. 3 is golf. He says that he's biased. 4, here you go, Gary. Hockey. 5, football. 6, soccer. 7, hunting/shooting. 8, pro wrestling. 9, skiing. Then comes 10 is baseball. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? I know baseball games are not nearly as fun, in my opinion, as the other sports games, but they're definitely better than freaking skiing and pro wrestling. Let's be fucking real.
Where the hell's a skiing game anyway?
I don't know. Then he lists, which is more asinine, he lists basketball.
Yeah.
He lists basketball. Those
It's
NBA
bizarre.
2K games are the bomb. Then he lists bowling, then tennis, which I don't know if you played a tennis game. I enjoy the tennis games. Like, I rope in table tennis with that, and let's be real, the Rockstar's table tennis game, I don't know if anyone's played it, back when it was released on the 360, was the bomb. It was awesome. Let's be real. It was great. Greatness. All right. Then it was fishing, and then Canadian football, and then cricket.
Dude, okay, so I've held my tongue now, but you know what? This is ridiculous. So, first of all, hockey isn't even I'm a hockey player. I love hockey, but yet the games drive me crazy. They're not even a real representation of the sport. I mean, yeah, sort of real, but at the same time, there's stuff that happens in that game that drives me crazy, but that's beside the point. So, basketball games are absolutely the number one, in my opinion, the number one video game sport. I think the 2K games are just tremendous. Whether it be the career mode or the franchise mode, it's just so addicting, and they put so much work into it with the commentary and all that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where. I mean, to each his own, but this opinion. So
I think it's up there with obviously basketball, and then I feel like it's hockey for me. 'Cause I don't know. I like the aspect of going back and forth in a like court or rink. That aspect of it, that type of game, I feel like suited best for a video game. More arcadey kind of feel, which I hate that they start going more, which NBA does it really well, but they're going more and more trying to be more realistic. Screw that. I like the arcade sports games.
The problem is like they try to go too realistic, and right now they don't have the technology right now to do that. Like, you know, puck physics, like the way the puck, you know, is supposed to hit off a player, or like the fact that my stick can go through the boards. It can go through things. Like, the technology is not in place yet to really make a game that is as realistic as they want it to be. And I think
also
that,
feel good. That's the main thing. You need, because sometimes things that are realistic just doesn't feel quite right if you don't have it right. You know?
That's exactly it, and that's why NHL is so frustrating. I mean, I played NHL 16 probably more than I've played a lot of other NHL games, and even then, it's like there's things that happen in that game, like the glitch goals or the ways people figure out how to win games. That drives me crazy because they seemingly never get fixed. But,
yeah. You can rant on that for hours. But let's not go into the actual games that are made now. What do you think is the best, just without thinking about the games that are made, what is the best sport that would be, like, if all the games were amazing, what was the best sport that would be best on a video game, in a video game? What do
I'm
you
going to be
feel?
biased, but hockey for me. I mean, it's just my favorite sport. I play it, and it's, you know, there's nothing like it to me anyway. So, yeah, definitely hockey for me.
Me? I probably should have put more thought into it. It's definitely not. I know I love baseball. I played it, but nah, that's not. No, it's just like it. I have a hard time explaining. It just doesn't feel like a proper video game where it's more arcadey or like exciting. Like even the last arcadey one was MLB The Bigs or whatever it was called, where it was kind of like a slugfest. but it came out for 360. That was pretty great. But I don't know. That's difficult.
I'm surprised you weren't saying basketball, to be honest.
I want to say basketball just because I love NBA Live back in the day where they felt more arcadey and I didn't care about realism. And you just jack up shots and it was fantastic. You sprint back and forth. That was great. I'm always a fan of fighting games. They're top notch back in the day, especially Fight Night Round 2 and Round 3. Fantastic. You remember that? We played round 2. We would have our characters go until they're like 40-some, become really fat, and still somehow they would lose the title. We would bring them back, and we would win at like 43 years old and then retire.
I had just a short little story here. So I had a career that I ran. He was definitely in his 40s, early 40s. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was dominating for like the longest time, and like over time, like the late 30s, I started to realize my guy was starting to slow down a bit, getting a little scary now in the fights. Okay, gets into the 40s, I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'm going to keep going. I'm pushing it now at this point. Okay, it's getting very frightening. My final fight, I'm in the title fight, defending my title. I remember back then, all you would do is just throw haymakers.
Yeah, that's all you needed to do.
Dude, my guy, okay, so his face by the end of this fight was smashed. I thought I was going down. I actually won by like the skin of my teeth. But, oh my God, I thought I was screwed. And there was no way I was going to be able to win the title again. I'm fighting guys that are in their 20s. But yeah, so I retired promptly after that fight. I'm like, you know what? I've gambled long enough. This game is over.
I remember playing the darn like mini games, and no matter how well you did in the mini games when you're like 40 years old, you would still lose strength no matter what.
Your guy looks like he ate like a box of donuts.
He looked like he just drank too much beer and just had like the beer gut. It was hilarious, and he was still going out there throwing haymakers left and right. It was great. Great times. I remember talking about it back when we were younger in elementary school. I think it was
the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. Didn't have to worry about shit. But I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say something else. Oh, let's not like ignore the fact that Mario or Nintendo makes great sports games. Their Mario Tennis is great. Their soccer game. Oh, soccer's another thing to mention. FIFA, on point.
That's
Mario Super Strikers, fantastic game. And my favorite, I'm biased on this one. I love this game. No one can beat me in this game. I dare you to challenge me. Come over to my place. I'll kick your ass. And Mario Baseball. That game was the bomb. And I was so good at it. Boo, best character.
I remember you kicking ass in that game.
Yeah, no one can beat me.
Kicking my ass in that game.
You can vouch from all my friends. All, like, I don't know, 15 that I played against? I don't know. I don't remember. That's too many. It was more like 5. I just overestimated completely. I was a loner as a kid. No, I don't know. What am I saying now? I'm rambling. Gary, take us to the next topic.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a new thing we're doing here. It's an exciting day for Destiny fans everywhere. As everyone knows that's been playing the game, the Crucible's been kind of in a frustrating state now for a while. There have been weapons imbalances, subclass imbalances, you name it. It's been pretty frustrating. So today, Destiny, or Bungie, has released a set of weapon tuners to basically change the way you approach the Crucible and basically change how it works. The full patch notes are available on Bungie's website if you want to take a look, but I'm basically just going to read off maybe my top 3 takeaways that I have. First
everyone
and foremost,
loves lists. Everyone loves lists. Give them the top 3, Gary.
Let's do it. Okay, so first up is the universal remote nerf. Now, anybody that's been playing for the past 2 months, this gun is Satan. Okay, it's a shotgun that can be equipped in the primary slot and can snipe people from like halfway across the map. It's an absolute disgrace to basically any competitive PvP game out there.
Wait, there's a shotgun that can snipe? That doesn't seem very good.
It's a shotgun. It's a regular shotgun, but the range on it is absurd.
Like you shoot like all the way down like a hallway pretty easily and hit somebody?
It's hell. There's so many things involved in it. But anyway,
take your word for it.
The range has been reduced 75%. Obviously a whopping nerf. Much needed. It's a crutch weapon. Should not be in the game. Yeah. So moving onward, we have number 2.
Number
Sniper
2.
Flinch. Sniper Flinch has finally been added to the game. So obviously, you've had many times in the Crucible where you're walking out into an open space, you see a sniper aiming at you, take a few shots at him, and all of a sudden your head's gone because he was able to aim down your scope, snipe you in the face while getting fired upon. Don't know why that was a thing, but not anymore.
That's pretty exciting. In my opinion, I don't play Destiny that much, but I remember playing that and I would shoot at somebody and they would still hit me, and it was just frustrating. And I remember playing a sniper, you could get hit constantly, and you'd be able to aim down the sight still and hit, which is it's frustrating for the people that aren't using a sniper class or using that weapon. So that's pretty great.
Well, the funny thing is that I'm actually a sniper frequently. But yeah, it's out of control. So what they did was they finally added a flinching mechanic in the game that stacks. So you'll take a shot, you'll take another shot, and it's going to go from 50%. I think that's what they were saying, 50% to 100%. Once it gets to 100, that's obviously the max flinch you can possibly take. But the idea here is that you're not going to be able to take people's heads off while getting fired on. That's a sniper.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last but not least, actually my favorite probably on the countdown here,
number 3,
is the fact that in elimination game types now, they're only going to have one heavy spawn. So before, they had 2 heavy spawns, one on each side of the map, basically in your spawn usually. Mm-hmm. And what it would lead to is just basically either heavy ammo camping, like people would just sit around with rocket launchers, usually truth, and basically it was just a truth battle in the end. It was an absolute disaster. So now they're doing one heavy ammo spawn that the 2 teams are actually going to fight over. No more heavy camping. It's actually
what is truth, if you don't mind me asking? Is that like a rocket launcher for all those layman people out there?
So basically, for all the people out there that don't play the game, truth is basically the most OP rocket launcher you can possibly have. It basically locks on. It's like a lock-on rocket.
Shit!
And it has... It's like... one time, I'm not even kidding, I saw a guy running... So like the other side of the map, running behind a building. I locked on, shot my rocket off. I saw my rocket curve behind the building where the guy was and hit him anyway. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But yeah, no more.
Sounds legit. Seems legit. All skill.
Oh yeah.
Why do they need to nerf it? That just seems dumb.
Well, heavy ammo, in my opinion, shouldn't even be in the game. But anyway,
fair enough. It's
better now. 2 teams fighting for one heavy ammo spawn. We're getting it. So anyway, like I said, full patch notes on Bungie's website if you want to check it out. A lot more detail on there, obviously. But at this time, I'm going to hand it off back to your host, Adam, for the video games dropping.
That's me.
This very week.
I was going to mention also it's probably a good design purpose to have one heavy ammo spot, so then for deathmatch purposes, everyone converges to one area, so it'd be an all-out brawl. But yeah, let's go to the video games dropping this week. It's pretty slow week, to be honest, from what I found, but here's a few. 140 for PS4. 140 is a challenging, minimalistic platformer with abstract, colorful graphics. Rhythmic awareness is required to overcome obstacles controlled by an energetic yet melancholic. Melancholic. Thank you, Gary. That's why I have you. Electronic soundtrack, super tight puzzle design, and a striking audio-visual presentation come together to form a challenging experience. Cool. Doggos, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Doggos incorporates current technology into a classic shoot-'em-up or shmup design, 3D visuals, a dynamic camera, and the ability to move through scenarios like an open world. Challenge your skills and senses to beat of a catchy soundtrack and explosive campaign. Cool.
All about that catchy soundtrack.
All about it. Just Sing coming to PS4. Create your own music videos with Just Sing. Sing or lip sync to your favorite songs from the hottest hits to all-time classics. A smartphone is all you need to get the party started. Just download the free Just Sing companion app to your smartphone. Sync it with your console and just sing. Gary, what are you going to sing when you play this game? Go.
I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys.
That's my man right there. In sync right here.
Such a Backstreet Boys.
Oh, funny. And I made a joke. I made a pun. I said In Sync here, but you said Backstreet Boys. There it is. There's the groan. There's the groan, ladies and gentlemen.
It didn't register because it was just so bad. But well done. Well done nonetheless.
Thanks. Next one. Skyforce Anniversary coming to PS4, PS3, Vita. Oh, a Vita game. The legendary shoot 'em up is here to celebrate its 10-year anniversary in super destructive style, harnessing the intensity of classic arcade games combined with modern visuals. Skyforce Anniversary offers a stunning scrolling shooter experience with an incredible new social gameplay element. Oh, I'm all about that social gameplay.
Damn right.
Next, The Elder Scrolls Online Gold Edition. PC, PS4, Xbox One. Own the complete ESO story plus first four DLC game packs with a newly announced Elder Scrolls Online Gold Edition. From Skyrim to Daggerfall, this pack allows you to explore the vast world of Tamriel in one package. Travel to Abaz Landing to master the art of thievery with the iconic Thieves Guild. Become a deadly assassin of the Dark Brotherhood, your favorite, in the Gold Coast, or ride to Hrothgar and aid the Orc King Kuruk in building
Orsinium.
Nailed it. Damn.
Yes, sir. No, I was going to say, Elder Scrolls has always been I
love Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, a big game with
Love
me.
it.
One of my favorite games, and it's really a shame because obviously I've heard this game's gotten a lot better over time, but
yeah, most MMOs it seems like they get just constantly over time get better and better. They just understand how to make it better, obviously.
The only bad thing is, I'm going to have to read up on some reviews. I was always thinking about getting it, just
Me
because
too.
it's Elder Scrolls. But
Yeah.
I was hearing that it was just really boring if you aren't playing with somebody.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I have my man over here, Adam, who I
Yeah.
can play with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to take a look at that sometime.
Yeah. We definitely should when we get our own YouTube channel in who knows when. Keep supporting us and we'll get there. We'll get there. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen. We're off to do great things. Episode 3, it's a miracle we made it here, folks. But yeah, I remember back when I was younger, playing Elder Scrolls, and back when I was younger, I always liked and enjoyed like the social, like a bunch of people playing, and I was like, oh man, Elder Scrolls would be great as an MMO. Then I got older, and I became more of a grouch. I'm like, I don't want to really play with anybody unless I know them. So
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I am now, too, with Destiny or whatever it is. Like, especially with Destiny, because there's some things in that game that you need to play with people. Other people you don't know unless you have, like, a 6-man fire team. But oh my God, I could talk to anybody back then, and now it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. The hell with everybody. I hate everyone.
Well, back in COD 4 days or Modern Warfare 2 days on PS3, that was when no one really had a PS3. It seemed like all the younger kids were on Xbox 360, and only a few people had actual mics for PS3. And luckily, most of the time, it was cool kids that were playing on PS3. Or if not, they were annoying, then we would be annoying back to them because we were damn good.
Modern Warfare 2, man. I remember the absolute shit show of lobbies. Just people screaming obscenities back to each other. Usually racial things, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Good times.
We would come in, wreck shop, and then everyone gets mad at us, and we just meet them, The final game, the one that I'm actually pretty excited about, it's called Oceanhorn, Monster of the Uncharted Sea. Set sail and embark on an epic journey. Explore the islands of the Uncharted Sea, a world filled with many dangers, puzzles, and secrets. Fight monsters, learn to use magic, and discover ancient treasures, which will help you on your quest. Oceanhorn combines captivating storytelling, breathtaking 3D visuals, and exciting gameplay into one massive adventure you'll never forget. You want to know why I'm excited about this, Gary?
Elaborate.
It seems more... It actually looks... And from what I'm hearing from people playing it, it looks and feels like an actual just Zelda game for PS4 or Xbox. I think it's coming to Xbox One, but which is pretty exciting to have like a game because we never really had like a Zelda style game. The cartoony, not cartoony, but this artistic style kind of fits that. You're exploring worlds. You have like text coming across for dialogue. I don't know. It's just exciting to finally have that come into a PS4 console, which I'm excited to play whenever I do finally play. And maybe in the future, I'm not sure when I'll get it, but it's only, I think, $15 on the PS store. So people out there that are interested in playing that game, go check it out. I hear good things. Has I think a 9.7 on Steam store, so that's cool. 73% on Metacritic, which is also pretty good. But yeah, go check it out. It's pretty cheap, and yeah, there's that. And that's it for the video games dropping this week. Anything left to say, Gary?
Honestly, I mean, I'm going to be on Destiny, so for anybody who wants to catch up with me, I'll be on there. Scavenger 18, check me out.
Of course you will.
I'll be on there testing out the new weapon tuners tonight, see how that goes.
Nice.
Battlefield 1 beta obviously wrapping up, but yeah, looking forward to later this month and actually October too for the Battlefield 1 release.
And also COD beta. Yeah, you're joining. Right?
Of course. What was I thinking? Infinite Warfare, jetpacks, and futuristic shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but they do have COD 4 Remaster, which is pretty sick. Let's be real.
I know, and it's such a scam, though. Like
That's how they're getting you to pay for it, because they know everybody loves COD 4. That was the best.
I can't, in good conscience, actually do that. I want to so bad, because, yeah, the game was great, and I know there's going to be a ton of people playing, but my lord.
My lord. Well, thank you all for listening. Again, please go to Facebook, like our Facebook page, 2 Jersey Kids, then follow us on Twitter at 2 Jersey Kids. We're up to 30 followers, Gary. That's pretty exciting.
Yes, sir.
And also, make sure to rate us on iTunes. If you're so kind, give us 5 stars. If you want, give us 4 stars and let us know why you didn't give us an extra star. How can we improve it? How can we be better than we already are? Because let's be real, we're great. It's a miracle that we made it to episode 3. But like you know, miracles can happen. Have a great, great weekend, folks.
Thanks for watching. Gary and Adam have left the building.